Former President Donald Trump took to Truth Social yesterday with some not so kind words for his former White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. Quote, Kayleigh Milktoast McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. I'm 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25 up. Well, 25 is great. It's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. Listen to what Trump is referring to here.
The DeSantis team would say, you know, we just had polling come out that shows we closed the gap by 9 points since we announced in Iowa. Still, Trump's hugely ahead, but they say they're closing the gap. That's their argument.
Hugely.
Hugely. Look, if you look at the
Big
polling
lead.
now, it was Trump 34 in Iowa. It's now Trump 25.
Still a big lead?
That's double digits.
Trump was not wrong, however. A new Morning Consult poll conducted last week did show Trump in the lead amongst GOP primary voters, earning 56% support, up, in fact, 34 points ahead of Ron DeSantis, who earned 22% support. I think the poll was taken before the DeSantis announcement, so maybe there'll be some movement there. This is not, so Kayleigh McEnany was a major Trump press secretary. She was an attack dog on Trump's behalf. She worked for this man. She was everywhere, all over social media.
She was effective.
She was very effective, very loyal. So this is, again, an example of, well, he's technically right here, Trump turning on his people. Like she was very loyal. He called her Milktoast. Milktoast. It's Milktoast.
It's supposed to be with a Q-U-E.
That's just kind of endearing. But
yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter, honestly, on the right, who are very Trump, pro-Trump, or at least are not, I think, decisively on the DeSantis side, saying this was a low blow. She defended you at all times. I'm seeing that from like a lot of people. It's similar to what's happening with. Christina Pashaw, who is that top Ron DeSantis advisor, strategist, press secretary person. She has been, she's always been a DeSantis person, but obviously DeSantis and Trump were not at odds until recently. She's being accused of being a globalist neocon or something. I don't know why they're saying her views are neocon. Maybe you can educate me if you out there think that's the case. It's very eating of your own.
Yeah, I don't understand. It seemed like an honest...
Rick Grinnell. Here's an example. Rick Grinnell, major Trump appointee, ambassador to Germany, I believe. Big, all Team MAGA sort of person. Said, with all due respect, Kayleigh has been. Oh no, sorry, never mind. Here's an example going the right. No, he's attacking Mark Thiessen for. Okay, so he's on the other side of this. So he's saying no, she's fair game now because she's on Team DeSantis.
That's interesting.
So it's not all one way. Rob Smith defending Kayleigh, Mike Cernovich defending Kayleigh McEnany, people of that nature.
So
a lot of Fox people, Guy Benson, Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah, this seems like one of those things that is an honest mistake. You heard in that clip that her overall point was emphasizing that Trump still had a huge lead and that Ron DeSantis didn't seem to be a real threat. So the choice to go all in, not just saying, Donald Trump has a way of being kind of passive aggressive and snide and having little quips like, I could see him saying, oh, 25 is great, but it's not 35, and making all of that sort of statement, but not going in on calling her a globalist shill and all of those sorts of things. So I think it does make you wonder, if you are looking to ally with Donald Trump and to root for him, if he'll turn on someone as loyal as Kayleigh McEnany, who won't he turn on?
Literally, no. He would turn on his own children. There's no one he won't turn on. And then it also looks like if he doesn't like these, if he thinks these people are bad, if he actually thinks she's milk with toast, you picked her to be your press secretary. He'll trash these people, say the worst things about them. If that was true, if they're so bad, why did you pick them? It's clearly that they're not actually bad. You're just. You have a sense of loyalty that requires your people not just to work tirelessly for you, not just to do everything for you, but to literally obstruct the next person, the next president coming into office on your behalf.
Yeah, and honestly, this stuff doesn't seem to touch
it's an unattainable level of
Trump. I mean, how many other
nobody's going to care, but
have we seen who have been dogged by reporting about how they're mean to staff. Amy Klobuchar being accused of being the inspiration behind that scene from Veep, where the Veep character asked her subordinate to dry shave her legs under the table. That was apparently, allegedly, was inspired by Amy Klobuchar.
I didn't care about that.
There's the whole story about Amy Klobuchar being upset that her subordinate didn't bring her a fork to eat her salad on the plane and eating it with her comb. Marianne Williamson has been accused recently of being impolite to her staff. Mehdi Hassan asked her a bunch of questions like that during an interview that he just had with her earlier this week. Katie Porter. I should note that all the people I just noted were women, for whatever reason.
Why do you hate women, Briahna?
Well, there is an interesting question of whether or not these stories seem to have more traction when they are about a woman mistreating their staff versus a man. But the point here, the main point I want to make, is that it is interesting that other people get flack for this sort of thing. And Donald Trump, while you're right, there are some people who are saying, why go after one of your own? He's been like this for a really long time, and it doesn't seem like it's dissuaded people from wanting to make nice with him and to work for him and to ride his coattails.
She's fiery. Like Milktoast means like pathetic and weak. Yeah. Like she was an attack dog for him. She was
a very effective press secretary. People wanted to be very dismissive because obviously they substantively disagree with their politics of the people that work for Donald Trump. But Kayleigh McEnany was nobody's fool, and I thought that she did a really good job in the position. This is also an interesting story given that we're about to get New Jersey. The New Jersey entrance into the race, the New Jersey governor entering into the race, who has been on so many sides of this Trump allegiance.
Christie, yes.
Yeah, and people are saying, well, he's positioning himself to come in as an attack dog who's going to be explicitly critical of Trump in the way that other people haven't been in the past, in a way that he at times has not been in the past. But of course, in his most recent arc is appearing a lot on liberal media and being kind of the reasonable conservative at the table.
Mark my words, Christie's really going to fundamentally alter the dynamics of this race.
So that's the thing. Is Chris Christie finally going to be tired? Is the real Chris Christie and his real feelings about Donald Trump going to come out? Is he going to keep running cover for him in the way that so many people, including the entire Fox News enterprise, felt like they needed to run cover for him?
I mean, Chris Christie I think is going to get in the race. He's a total non-entity among conservatives, among primary voters. This is someone, he has currency maybe he mostly does the mainstream media circuit. He doesn't have any more credibility. He's been on every side of the Trump issue. He's been very condemning of Trump, very anti-Trump, need to move on from Trump. But if he's the nominee, I'll vote for him. Absolutely. Like, he's wishy-washy, I think, on the fundamental Trump question. Actually, I was seeing someone retweeted into my timeline, maybe it was a screenshot of an old Christie tweet from the pandemic that he'd just gotten out of the hospital with COVID and saying about how we need to mask harder and conservatives need to be more pro-masking, which maybe you agree with that. Maybe you think that'd be a good idea, but I don't think it's good politics for the Republican primary. Will he peel off some votes from DeSantis? Sure.
The headline of that COVID story was that Trump gave Chris Christie COVID. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Trump gave him...
That was at the Rose Garden? Is that when he got it?
I think
was he at the Rose Garden thing?
I think that was.
That was the Amy Coney Barrett
Trump tested positive on September 26, 2020, 6 days before it was publicly announced that Christie tested positive on October 3rd. Yes, it was the Rose Garden Amy Coney Barrett mass infection event that happened that year. And so people were saying that even though he was literally felled and hospitalized, I mean, he's a high-risk individual, hospitalized because of Donald Trump.
What are you saying?
He was literally hospitalized and was still at that time refused to really condemn Trump in the lead up to that election. So why are we talking about this? Because as much as he's beaten people down, as much as Donald Trump has read people for filth, they tend to fall in line at the end of the day. Kayleigh McEnany, I think, has taken this, gracefully and not lashed out anyway and just kind of laughed about it. Chris Christie is gearing up to maybe finally take a stand for himself. But I think, it is a fascinating phenomenon that Donald Trump seems to be getting away with treating even his very close friends and allies very poorly, even sending him to the hospital.
Just wait until Chris Christie enters the race. Wow, that's going to really shake things up. Tomorrow on Rising, Senator Rand Paul will be joining us to discuss his reaction to the House's key debt ceiling vote. vote set for 8 p.m. tonight. You will not want to miss that.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while you're on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.